Um, Here's your chance to act as a bit of a fashion critic. Who are some of rock's best dressed people?
Um,
You've already mentioned Bowie, which I think goes without saying. Um, the Rolling Stones in the Brian Jones era, I mean, they were pretty stylish guys.
Keith Richards,
Yeah.
Anita Pallenberg. There you go, Jim Morrison. Um, I'd have to say probably everybody in Roxy Music, uh, and Daniel Lenoir.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, there are a lot of, I mean, The Who during the 60s were a great, they were fashion icons.
Oh, Roger Daltrey with his big fringed leather jacket that he was playing. That we
Yeah,
wore.
and just like the simple, you know, parkas that they wore, you know.
How about Paul Weller?
Oh, Paul Weller. I mean, yeah. I mean, besides the fact that he's just incredibly handsome. You know what? I would say definitely that in 1987, when Guns N' Roses came out with Appetite for Destruction, they made a statement, and that record was the Nevermind the Bollocks of my generation. And they combined Aerosmith with the Sex Pistols, and they meant it because of all their combined influences. I'd have to say Perry Farrell and Jane's Addiction in the early days.
And Dave Navarro can pull off some pretty good clothes too.
Yes.
Obviously, this is a long-term thing for you.
Yes.
Wish you well with it, because I mean, you know, there are a lot of people that get, a lot of rock stars that get into the rock star clothing business that don't do it very well.
Well, you know what? I look at it like this. You know, used to make records to basically used to actually tour to promote your record, and now you make a record to promote your tour. I don't want to be a slave to the road. I'd like to tour when I want to tour. I really prefer making albums. I love performing when I want to perform. I detest the feeling of when it comes down to punching in the clock every night. You know, that's, and, you know, lucky, you know, and God has blessed those country singers because they're still selling records. But you know, it's difficult in the rock and roll business for everyone. Um, you know, I am trying to branch out into other artistic endeavors, like fashion, which I am very interested in, which I've always been interested in. I remember going to school one day in 4th grade after seeing Saturday Night Fever um, and trying to dress like John Travolta, Tony Manero. I had a pair of Angel Flight pants. They were black, and I found a faux silk shirt in my mother's closet, and my grandparents were staying with us. They were visiting from California. We were living in Ohio, and my grandmother had a pair of brown platform shoes, and I wore them and unbuttoned my shirt about halfway down to my navel, and let's just say that that was probably the last time that I did that, and until and probably 1994.
Let's talk about Stone Temple Pilots for a little bit. You know, when I heard you guys were getting back together, I said, no, it can't be possible. I would have bet against it. Yet it happened. And I would have bet against it lasting as long as it has. Yet it has, and it's gone so smoothly. Why have things gone so well?
Smoothly. I mean, is any family smooth? I mean, it's a family. It's like a relationship with, you know, with 4 brothers. You know, it's politics. It's a democracy. We vote. So we have to. There's a fine line between everything. We don't always get along. We've just found out how to get along and how to make it work.
Well, you guys are a little bit older. You've got families now.
Yep.
What is it true that the genesis of the reunion was at a family function?
No, absolutely not. No, actually, I was on tour with Velvet Revolver, and that's how it happened. And I got a call from Dean, and he said, "Are you sitting down?" And I said, "Yes, I'm sitting down in a pleather black chair." And he said, "We may have an opportunity to perform at Coachella and headline. Would you be interested?" I said, "Count me in." However, what happened was I still had gigs to do with Velvet Revolver, and it wouldn't have been politically correct to tell them at that time, "Hey, look, this is what's going to happen." So there were, at first, just a handful of summer festivals that were booked, and
Yeah, one of them was here at Edgefest.
yeah, VR was not playing at the time. We weren't going to be playing. We were going to be in the writing phases. And how that works is everyone individually writes you know, their own musical stuff, and then brings it to the table, rehearses. They bring the stuff to me. I work on my melodies, my lyrics, and then bring it to them, and then we get together and we jam out. So it would have been you know, a long process. So what happened was in the middle of the Revolver tour, about probably a month and a half, 2 months later, I told Slash. I said, "Hey man, I gotta talk to you about something. There's an opportunity to do some shows with SDP this summer," and he was cool with it. And that's the God's honest truth. So it's when things started happening, like within the band, there were other personal problems that were happening, and it really wasn't at all a Scott and Slash thing. You know, I don't have to go more personally into it. You know, I'm sure, actually, myself and the other person, we text each other now, and we've made amends. You know, the band actually didn't even need to really break up. It just, it happened, and that there gave STP the opportunity to fully reunite.
Explore Music wears English Laundry apparel.